All right, let's step slowly into further depth. So this time order data, the data which is captured over time, you need to look at variation and how it varies from point to point. So certain patterns in the variation provide clues about the sources of the process problems. For those who are in the mechanical industry, you can know that if the diameter is continuously reducing, that means the drilling machine, that it's called as a drill bit, it is worn out, that becomes smaller and the hole diameter also becomes smaller. Okay, so if you see the diameter pattern over time, it will give you the clue about the sources of process problems. All right. Now, what do you see on the screen? UV. What is UV? Understanding this variation. Now, very, very important that we need to understand variation, and whether you bake bread in the kitchen or make machines in the shop floor, process is a process everywhere. And excellence is all about identifying those activities in the process which doesn't add value. And even a value adding process has variations. And the whole world of Six Sigma is about understanding these variations and trying to minimize variation. You cannot eliminate variation. Okay? You can only minimize. Can you eliminate variation? No. You can only minimize variation. All right. So, when you see a data like this, many people will have many thoughts. Okay, one person might think like this, one person might be wondering this, and the third person might have like this. So when you see these patterns of variation, many people have many thought process. Okay, now let us go a little bit deeper into this. What can you see from this data? What is variation? Now, if you see certain point in data, there might be a slight shift. Okay. So the process data shows how the process varies over time. I'm going to slowly get into how to measure variation, how to calculate the sigma level, how to calculate the process capability. How do we know this process is capable or not? Yes, there is a variation here, but how do you know this is capable or not? But one thing we all agree, no two things are exactly alike. How a process is done varies from day to day. Measurement or counts collected from output will vary over time. Quantifying the amount of variation is critical step towards improvement. Now, we need to see, in order to say whether it is acceptable or not acceptable, we need to see within what band the process should vary. Okay, so understanding what causes that variation will help us decide what kind of actions we should take for improvement. Now, I'm introducing what is called as specification limit. In most of the cases, you will have lower specification limit and upper specification limit. Okay, and most of the data form a normal distribution. Okay, and we should make sure that our entire set of products should be within plus or minus 3 sigma, that is 6 sigma process. Okay, so if you want to see, this is the natural variation of the process, the bell-shaped curve, which is called normal distribution, and this is called the customer specification or the width. Okay, the customer wants let's say that you're buying a piece of sugar, okay, 1 kg sugar packet. So the customer wants a sugar packet. I don't know if it is 1 kg, what would you tolerate? What will be your tolerance? How much can you tolerate? Suppose if 1 kg is half a kg, definitely you can't tolerate. 1 kg is say 1000, 990 grams you can tolerate, right? 100 grams plus or minus you can tolerate, right? That's called tolerance limit, okay? We also call specification limit is what you can tolerate. Beyond this, I cannot tolerate, and that's why you call anything that goes beyond that, the customer is rejected, right? So the amount of variation in a process tells us what that process actually is capable of achieving. Now that we have seen the data, we have seen the pattern of data, we have seen, okay, the interpretation, we will see whether the process is capable or not capable, or what is the current capability of this process. But this is always with respect to some tolerance limit or the specification limit, whether it is, first of all, we will check whether it is under control or not controlled. So the amount of variation in the process tells us what the process is exactly capable of achieving. This is called process capability, okay? Whereas specification tells us what we want the process to be able to achieve. Okay, this is what I want process to achieve it, whereas the process by itself is capable of something. Okay, I want my son to achieve 80 to 90%, but currently he is capable of achieving only 60 to 70%, something like that. Okay,